Hey there, it's Matt Heffernan. Welcome back to my channel. This is the second episode of my new vlogging feature, Slithy Vlogs. And this is just a weekly check-in on some of the stuff that I'm doing and just a grab bag for any little thing I want to do on the channel. And this week, rather than going through a status update like I did with the first one, this is going to just be a very quickie review, not really a critical review, just more of an overview of what the current top 5 games are for the Commander X16. This is not my subjective view. This is based on basically 2 criteria. We have on the Commander X16 website, commanderx16.com, there are the community uploads. So anybody that creates any kind of program or demo or whatever for the X16, they can go ahead and upload it to the site and share it with the rest of the community. And the folks that have shared games, there's games of all kinds on there, from extremely rudimentary works in progress to fairly sophisticated games that could have been released commercially back in the day and probably could be now. And in fact, some will be now. But what I'm going to limit it to specifically are the games that are more or less complete. They're fully playable. They are feature complete, and they are available on the website for download or for using with the web-based emulator. And then the main ranking criteria is the number of downloads that they have received from the site, and that's also a ranking that's on the site itself. So just gonna pick the number 5 because obviously a top 5, that's kind of a thing. Top 10 is going to be a little too much, but top 5 neatly comes out so that number 5 is my very own Chase Vault. Now, I started Chase Vault back in October of 2019, and it was pretty much done by the end of that year, and has just had since January of 2020 basically very few minor updates, basically keeping it up to date with the changes that have come with the kernel and the emulator and all that stuff. And the upcoming changes will be breaking for the R39 release, so there will be a new beta release of Chase Vault. I'm just doing beta releases until the actual hardware is fixed and finalized, and then that will be the official proper full release of Chase Vault 1.0. So, but it's an open source project. Like most of the stuff I do, it's fully open source, and we're gonna go and play each of these games. So we'll go ahead and play Chase Vault. I haven't played Chase Vault for a while on the channel, so let's go over to the terminal. Oh, let me get over to the right tab, and we're gonna run it. Let me get all nice and maximized there, and there we go. So this is Chase Vault. Of course, Chase Vault is a Pac-Man style game. I'm not going to really patch much of the audio in other than what's sort of leaking in through the microphone for this vlog, but if you want to go ahead and play this, you can do that right on the web-based emulator or download it and build it yourself. It will require CC65 to do that, and if you've been watching any of my tutorial videos, you'll know what the process for building that is like, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible. And of course, this was my first attempt at making a proper 8-bit game using assembly language, and so there it is. It's basically Pac-Man, and you can collect keys. When you generally you have to beat a level like that will reveal one or more keys, and then you have generally a choice of where to use that key. And here I could choose to go down, which would take me to level 2, or I could kind of do a shortcut. Generally going to the right is going to be more intense change in difficulty. And there you go. So I did some very basic things with tiles and sprites, and of course a bitmap on the background, and just trying to make it real simple. Just making Pac-Man with a few extra features that are kind of inspired by Zelda and Lock and Chase and other games. And yeah, I think it came out pretty well. I really have no desire to make any changes to it, and folks have liked it, and it's been used as a good example, a good test case for hardware configurations, which I find very flattering. But anyway, I think that's enough. Now, of course, in this game, I never created any way to quit other than to just reset, and then you're done. So that's it for Chase Fault. I have lots and lots and lots of videos on Chase Fault on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go back and subscribe, and you can check out, I have a playlist for the evolution of Chase Fault, where it went from a basic sprite demo, where I started first with a Pac-Man sprite, and then I all entirely with basic, and then again with a ghost monster. Again, very much in the original Namco Pac-Man form, but then I evolved the concept to create original graphics, still being chased by ghosts, but trying to make them less Namco kawaii cartoony, and a little more my particular proclivities for pixel art. So there you go. Let's get back to our slideshow. So what's number 4? Number 4 is Crazy Boulders, made by Dusan Strachl. He is another web presence. He does have a couple of YouTube channels, but his main presence is on the web. He has a blog called 8-Bit Coding, and he is been creating content fairly similar to mine, but more in a blog format than a video format. And he has also been focused a lot on trying to make basic programming better. And in fact, this program right here, Crazy Boulders, it is a clone of Boulder Dash, and it is an extremely sophisticated game, far more sophisticated than I think anybody thought they could do with BASIC on this system. And so we're going to take a look at that right now. So of course this is BASIC, and so I have to load up the actual BASIC code. We'll see here. Here's this is actually how he wrote it. I personally don't have the patience for making such a long BASIC program, but he did a phenomenal job with it. And there we can see like he's defining graphics here and levels and all sorts of stuff he's doing in there. It's really quite astonishing that he was able to do this in BASIC. And we'll see here how nicely it runs. So there's our splash screen. It has a little garbage up front. I'm not going to begrudge him any of that. All right. So nice basic sound effects. And this is not an easy game by any stretch, but it is not because of any sort of poor interface design or controls. It is just because it's just difficult. Maybe if it had a little more time, it would be easier. But you know what? The arcade version of Boulder Dash was also similarly non-forgiving. Like, I'm trying to get all the diamonds here. I don't think I can do it. Because here, yeah, I'm already running out of time. This is, yeah, definitely a very challenging game, but very fun. I mean, it plays just like any version of Boulder Dash you've ever seen. It's got nice 16-bit or 16 color graphics, and it looks very nice. It plays very nice. It is beyond smooth. You could not believe that this was actually made in BASIC. It's really quite something to behold. and he is really an excellent developer and a great blogger too, with a lot of his tutorial content. I really strongly suggest you check. I strongly suggest you check that out. A nice supplement and addition to the videos that I've been creating. And maybe if you're more onto the written word, maybe that's more more along your wheelhouse. So anyway, there's Crazy Boulders. Let's get back here to the countdown. Number 3 is Jimmy Dansbo, our own patron here. He is single-handedly, well, almost, maybe his brother helped, but he made Denmark the #1 visiting country on my channel for a few days. He's been a great supporter of me and my channel, and he has also been doing some pretty impressive stuff also with the Commander X16. And in fact, he was the very first one to have a completed game, and that was this one, simply called Maze. It's a very simple game, but it is written in assembly, and although he used the Acme compiler, I'm going to actually play this on the web emulator. I've not been able to get a working copy built on my machine, but that I'm sure that's something that I'm doing wrong, and I'm not going to go to great troubles to to debug what's going on there. But anyway, let me get over here. So here's the website, commanderx16.com, and you click on that downloads tab, and you'll see all the different software people are uploading. There's, what do we got? 145 different items that have been put into the community downloads. Mainly, games. There's demos. There's lots of stuff in there, but it's pretty impressive. Yeah, 51 demos, 44 games. The library is really coming along. And then, of course, if the person who uploads the program sets it up correctly, it will be compatible with the web emulator. And Jimmy has that working right up here. So here is Maze. Now, Maze is entirely text-based, but it was written in assembly language. And it is there's been similar games like this before, and it's a simple exercise in game design. It's more of a puzzle game. There's no this version doesn't have any timing on it, but it's more just like you keep playing it until you figure out. And so you're just, every time you move the cursor keys, it will go all the way across. Again, I keep forgetting how to do it here. There we go. Until you go through the whole maze and change the color of the background all the way through it. A very simple concept, but a nice, clean execution of it, and it plays very well. And, you could just kind of sit and do this for hours. It's one of those games. New York Times actually has games like this where they're not like as challenging puzzles as the crossword puzzle. It's more a sort of a Zen relaxation technique of being able to simply enjoy immersing yourself in a very simple but predictable problem space. But I'm sure you could make this very difficult and maybe maddening after a while. But it's a really nice concept, and Jimmy's done a great job, and I also can't thank Jimmy enough for all the support that he's given me. So, but he's there sitting at number 3. Now, number 2 and 1 are both by the same developer, and that is Andy MT. And number 2 is his second major game, is called Invaders, and as you might suspect, this is a clone of Space Invaders. So we're gonna bring this up. This, I believe, was actually written in C, along with his other game that we'll be looking at later. That was number 1. He's been doing a lot of work with getting C development. In fact, I saw he recently has forked CC65 and has been putting updates for the Commander X16 into it. So he is also a really great contributor to the community and helping to push the tool set. And now here we're going to see Invaders. So we're going to, I'll do fire with a spacebar. He lets you choose between mouse and joystick. I'm gonna stick with maybe I'll try the joystick this time. So I'll hit J for joystick, but I'm doing emulated joystick. If you saw my last video, you'll understand that doing an emulated joystick, there's actual joystick emulation is going to be on the actual hardware, where if you don't have a joystick connected, it's going to remap your keys, remap the buttons of the joystick to your keyboard. So that's what I'm going to do right here. And I am going to hit the joystick start, which is the enter key. And here we are. It is it's Space Invaders. We got our little shelters here. We've got our craft, and we're gonna have some little meanies that we gotta blast out of the sky. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I might go back to the mouse. Okay, fire. Okay. Oh, that's right. And that task requires a using the enter key to fire. So maybe if that was moved to select, that might have been better. Let me see if I got, whoops. Let's see. If I can, yeah, let me see if I can rerun this. Nope. Will this work? Nope. Load invaders .prg. Now run this again. This time I'll use the mouse. Yeah, the mouse seems to work the best. All right, we can skip that intro, and here we go. So again, this is a very basic kind of Space Invaders. It's not as difficult as the original Tato Space Invaders, but as you can see, the graphics are really nice. He makes use of a lot of the 256 color modes on here, like not just for the title screen, but here for the background, and has some nice appear to be 16 color sprites, and it just looks really nice. It plays really nice. It could probably stand to be more challenging, but what I found from Chase Vault is that people tend to complain a lot if you make a game as challenging, or even almost as challenging, approaching the challenge level of old school arcade games. Like, for instance, I don't think Chase Vault is nearly as difficult as the arcade version of Pac-Man. The arcade version of Pac-Man's made to eat your quarters, just like the arcade version of Space Invaders was made to eat your quarters. Of course, the famous story, maybe apocryphal, I don't know, but that in Japan, they started running out of 10 yen coins because everybody was plugging them into Space Invaders machines. It's who knows if that was really true or not, but it's a nice story, and I think this is a great tribute to that. Andy did a great job with this. It really looks nice, and I think it really deserves to be up there in the top 2, and as does his number 1 game, which is Bricks, which is, it's of course an Arkanoid clone, very specifically Arkanoid. It's not just like another Breakout style game. This is really looking to copy the look and gameplay that's specific to Arkanoid. And we'll get over here to that one. And I believe this was also written in C. Again, very impressive. The writing stuff in C and BASIC is not easy on the X16. It's really better for assembly, and BASIC is difficult too. It really takes a lot of skill to be able to create something good with BASIC, and with C, it means being very careful and writing pretty much as if you were writing in assembly language by by not doing the kinds of things that you would do on a modern PC when programming in C. Really trying to scale that down and be as efficient as possible. So here we are. And again, this is probably also a bit on the easy side, definitely easier than the arcade Arkanoid. But as you can see, a very, very close facsimile. And it, the only thing that seems to hold it back is the same thing with any mouse-based application, is that you can get a little out of sync there on within the emulator, and hopefully that will work better on the physical hardware, and maybe even on the new version of the emulator if it's a little better. But yeah, that's Bricks. So Bricks currently has that top spot. Now, of course, there are a lot of work in progress games, including one from the 8-bit guy himself, David Murray, has his Attack of the Petsky Robots. He is working on a version of that for the Commander X16. It's not as mature yet as the Commodore versions that he made for the PET and the C64 and the VIC-20, but that's coming along, and that will be a commercial game. That's my understanding, is that he is creating a shareware demo that he is uploading to CommanderX16.com, and then there will be a commercial version that you can buy, and just like you could for some of the other games that he's created. So that'll be very exciting to see something like that, a multi-platform game that's including the X16. Of course, it helps that it's the grand poobah of the Commander X16 that's putting it out, but still, it's going to be nice to see. And it's so great to see all the community coming together and creating all these really awesome games and demos. And I hope that maybe this inspires you to try your hand at some of this. As you can see, we have all these different languages represented, whatever your comfort level is, whether it's basic or C, or even diving into assembly language. I hope that if you do go into assembly language, you check out my videos. I have a whole playlist that's just starting from square one. It does assume that you have some programming background, but even if you're just some Python hacker, I think you'll be able to pick it up, and it's really a joy to create games and other programs for this platform. So anyway, that's all I got for you this week for the Slithy Vlogs. I will have another program for you, another lesson in the X16 tutorial. This week it's going to be about bitmaps, so we'll see some cool stuff, being able to load in bitmaps, create bitmaps for use within the Commander X16, and we're going to see all of that coming up this Sunday, or earlier if you are a patron. So let's bring that up, shall we? Why not, while we're here? Oops, get in there. So these folks right here, they're seeing this video probably before you. If you're not a patron, they're going to get to see this early, and they'll also get to see the next episode of the assembly tutorial series early as well. And anyway, I thank these folks for supporting me, and I thank you for watching this video. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. Like and comment on this video. Let me know what you might want to see me cover in a future video. If you have a specific, either for the Commander 16 or some other retro platform, or maybe not so retro, but more congruent to the theme of homebrew and sort of a retro styled games, I'd love to see what you guys are coming up with, especially if you have been following my tutorials and want to show me what you're coming up with. I would love to see that so much. Nothing would please me more than to see folks that have learned something from any of my videos and come up with something cool to share with the world. So I'll bid you adieu for now, and I hope you see you again this weekend for my next big video, and next week for another Slithy vlog. And yeah, let me know what you want to see for number 3. I haven't decided yet. I'll leave that to you. All right. All right. Take care. Bye bye.